It was the night before Christmas. I woke up. Because I had a nightmare. I wanted to see Santa tonight. So I went downstairs. I tiptoed down the stairs. I heard noise from the kitchen, but instead of going into the kitchen, I went to the sitting room. There were persons there already. So I went into the kitchen. I went to the white sits. I flipped the white sits. And nothing happened. The light did not turn on. Then I walked up to the light. The bulb was smashed into a million pieces. I heard someone mumble something. But I realized my mom and dad were asleep. Fast asleep. They were snoring their heads off. I heard footsteps. Where I heard the mumble, the footsteps followed the mumble. I realized the footsteps did not belong to the guy who mumbled. I could recognize that he was a guy. He was a male, not a female. By the tone of his voice. The footsteps seemed so loud. Seemed like someone was coming towards me. I wasn't sure how to react. To be fear, to be frozen, or to run. There was still a constant feeling that it was Santa Claus. But my mind was at war on what to do. The darkness still consumed the identities of the two men, the two people. I could not see their faces. The man with the man who was making the footsteps, or the person. I wasn't sure if he was a man or a person. I knew the mumbling man was a man. Then I was able to see Mo. He was very close to me. He had very messy hair. It was like a messy, just short, straight hair. He was smiling. He wasn't Santa Claus. His smile could give you the feels that he wasn't up to no good. His eyes, wide open, was like he was staring right at me. His arms, everything else just looked normal. But his eyes, there was something off about his eyes that I just noticed. His eyes was back completely. The dark was completely black, no white, not a single other color in his eyes. My mind decided for me on what I would do. I ran into the sitting room. I was scared. The man who was smiling laughed, and he said, "Oh, we have a wonder now. Oh, I love a boy who likes to run." I realized they weren't here to steal anything. 'cause I think they were here for a long time. I think they wanted to steal something that wasn't a artifact or object. They wanted to steal the organism, but who? But then I realized I became cold. Suddenly I became cold. My skin became whiter than snow itself. Then I realized he wanted me for some reason. He wanted me. He recognized that I was a boy. He recognized my features. But I didn't know what he wanted from me. I was too scared to ask him. I closed the sitting room door. Then a knock on my door I heard. Then I realized the smiling man, as I call him, or the man that I could see his features, that was close to me earlier. He was smiling and looking to the window of the door. I quickly ducked and hid behind the sofa. The other guy did not. I couldn't hear him now. The guy that was mumbling. I didn't see him. He wasn't in the sitting room or outside it like the other man. The mumbling man, I didn't know what he wanted. The guy that smiled like a keep, I'll call him. I did not know what he wanted from me. I wasn't sure. So then he started trying to open up the. He was going to go at the handle. I quickly locked it with the remote that I had. The sitting room door was controlled by a remote. That was the only door that was controlled by remote. The sitting room was only smart house-like area. Everything else, you had to use basic keys to lock it or to open it. The man said to me, "Oh, you are very careful." Yeah. We have a wonder here. You are such a careful boy. But I want something for you. I want you. I'll be back. Don't worry, the night isn't over. Santa Claus is coming. Again. You want to see Santa Claus? I know you are your all. He knew I was up for Santa. I thought everyone else thought that was a typical response for everyone else to know. But somehow it was typical for other adults to know. It was a typical response, I thought. He tried to open the door. The man tried. But then no noise. I walked I had my phone charging in the sitting room. I checked my phone. The time was actually a tiny bit off. The time was a tiny bit off. But I could not. The time was so off. It looked like I was steaming, I think. But I wasn't sure. The mumble man did not seem fake. I didn't think he was steaming. I opened up my eyes. I closed and opened them. Then the man was gone. But I still heard the mumbling. I wasn't sure. I did something very stupid I shouldn't have. I used the remote and opened up the sitting room door. Went out to the kitchen again. The man who was smiling was gone. I wasn't sure if it was a dream or was I hallucinating. But then the mumbling man was sitting down. I could see him now, more in detail. He walked. He had a mask on. Like you know that movie goes. He had a typical like a pumpkin mask on. And every other he wore all black, and his mask was an orange pumpkin mask that covered his whole face and his whole head. The mumbling man said, would you be nice and not tell anyone? Will you be nice and be quiet, please? I won't be horrible to you if you do what I say. I wasn't sure to trust him. He seemed a bit dodgy. He was very tall. He walked very strong and muscular. Looked like he went to the gym a lot. So the man said, Don't go out of the kitchen. Don't. Or I will have to do something so painful to you. So obey my rules. Do you want to play a game? I was frozen in fear. I did not know his motives. What was he trying to do? So the mumbling man said, Oh, you're frozen like ice. Well then, this is gonna be a bit difficult to decide what game. What did you like, boy? What is your favourite toy? Oh, video game. I noticed you like a lot of video games. But as a catch, I really liked. I said to him, I like Super Mario Bros. I like Super Mario 3D Land. The man laughed. You do? Well, that's good. Because I thought of the best game. You know the game called The Forest Rafa? I said, yes. Oh, you do? This game is kind of like this. But we're Super Mario-tists. In other words. Basically, you have until 12 o'clock. Until midnight. No, see, until 2 o'clock. Until it's 2 a.m. to survive. And I'll give you whatever you desire. Be reasonable. I wanted to have a bit of fun. Your parents aren't that hyper. Kids are very hyper. Active people. Not sure if you will survive this game. If you don't, I hop into another house and do the same thing. You see? I asked, what is this game? What are its rules? Oh, okay. Rule number 1. You're allowed to hide. I'll give you a chance to hide first. And I will scatter all your video games into different parts of the house. I will try to murder you. There are safe zones. But if you don't get all the games before 2 a.m., I kill you. Simple as that. The safe zone is the wardrobe. It's the sit room, actually. You have a remote, correct? I said, yes, I do. Then that's your safe room. That's the safe room. At the end of the game, you meet me there, or you say, I have all the games. If you lie to me, I kill your enemies during the game. If you lie, try not to lie to me. Try to have all the games. I'll give you my list of games. I give you the list of games. And you go. I can start the countdown soon. Go hide now. You know the rules. You know the safe room is the sit room. Be careful. I won't go easy on you. I won't go easy on you. 'Cause I choose children to play. I like playing with children because they're so hyper. Don't worry, the second game you'll play, if you want to play a second game, will be more funner than this one. If we have enough time. So, I will start counting now. You start hiding. 1, 2. I ran upstairs, finding a spot. Then there were many words. Then I realized the best spot. I quickly went. I walked around for a smart spot. I found the box, empty box that I could fit into. There were little holes I could walk into. It wasn't see-through. but there was a hole that I could walk to, so I went into the bots. But before I did that, I quickly put in some calls, and I used my phone to make a. I recorded a noise using the phone and put it underneath there, and made so and put a time limit on it. So by the time he comes up here, he'll take underneath the bed, and I'll be safe. So I hid. Then I heard, "Fit 150! I think I lost count. I'm coming." I heard him pounding up the stairs. He pounded up the stairs. Shots in every corner for me. And he laughed. "Oh, you're probably underneath the bed. That's where all the tourism of those hiding spots. They're under the bed or the wardrobe." So the man went into my room, the room I was in. He heard the noise. Ha ha ha! Shit, I'm underneath here. I hope no one catching me. He went underneath the bed. He thought I was underneath it. He checked. He found my phone. Oh, what a clever boy. He got it and just put it there. Then he opened up the wardrobe and found no one. He then went back downstairs to the kitchen. I was scared. I was panicked. But I wasn't sure what he was going to do. But I did something very foolish. I went out of my bots. The bots that was in the bedroom. The bots that I was in. The bots that was in my bedroom. I went out of it. I found the game. I found one of my games. Step out of the bots. The door was closed. I closed the door. Got the game. Then, when I was getting back into the bot, I heard something horrifying. "I hear you! I'm coming up to see where you are, kiddo." That was my worst mistake I made. But I wasn't sure if I was gonna make more. But I hid just in time before he didn't recognize. He burst into the bedroom. I was in the bots, so I was lucky. He said, "Oh, I don't know where you are. I'll probably take the back room." I gasped for air. Then I quickly closed my mouth again. I didn't know what was my fate. I wondered what would happen to me. But there were only 2 more hours left. Only a few minutes passed. Still, I was panicked with fear. Only one game found. But I wondered what would happen next. This is the end of part 1. Part 2 will be coming out tomorrow. Probably.